This content is brought to you by Kim Westland Incorporated, helping you create a vision for your life.
Hi, I'm Kim Westland, and I help people just like you discover and take action on their vision so they can build a life they've always dreamed about. I don't know about you, but simplicity is seriously underrated. When I was thinking about what simplicity brings to my life, it was inspiring in a really interesting way when I really stopped and thought about it. I have historically struggled with finding simplicity, and I've always craved it. I think we're all secretly searching for it, but we're packing our schedules trying to find it, and it's really backwards. So here's the thing that I've discovered: it takes discipline to simplify your life. There's some work on the front end that we have to do to actually reach the goal of simplicity. And one thing I've had to overcome, and it still tends to be a barrier from time to time, is people pleasing. And if you tend to struggle in this area as well, you're most likely struggling with simplifying your life and the time you spend managing all the things you have going on. Do you know why? Because people pleasers are generally available to whoever needs them. We tend to jump and run if people ask us, and we have a really hard time saying no. One thing I've noticed is that I can't effectively grow my business or do things that really matter to me if I'm always filling up my time with things that take me away from my focus. It's really simple in concept, but it takes us to be really, really intentional and disciplined. And in my case, just plain getting fed up with not achieving what I want and what I need. So I don't know about you, if that's speaking your language today, but it certainly speaks to me. I usually talk about what's going on in my own life. Learning how to say no is such a powerful tool. So if you've made a big to-do list and you want to achieve some very specific goals in, say, the next month or 3 months or even longer, here's what's keeping things simple will do for you. And I want to get you motivated to do this because, firstly, simplicity allows creativity and innovation to flow. When we overschedule ourselves and we have too many goals, it generally leads to stress. And we all know what stress will do. There's many studies on it, lots of science around it. Stress will actually kill our creativity. When I think back to when I started my own business, and I was trying to do everything. I had a very long to-do list, and I'm sure many of you can relate to that. I wasn't super clear about the direction that I was going. I knew what the business was meant to do. I had to kind of find my way in the process. So if we're trying to please everyone at this very critical early stage, we risk our ideas drying up and losing motivation when we overschedule and we pack too many things in and try and get too many things done at the same time. You know the saying, if you're a jack of all trades, you're a master of none. It's very true. I've never known how true it is until this stage of my life. Here's the key for simplifying and a great exercise if you are not good in this area. Take one thing to focus on and cut out all the other things. Now, that seems extreme. Maybe you take 2 or 3 things. You decide, but it's got to be a small number. Maybe you need to close some tabs on your laptop. Yeah, I'm probably fall in that category. When the clarity is gone, it's kind of like drinking swamp water. And if you don't remember what swamp water is, as kids, we used to drink something that kind of looked a little bit like this. It was just a mix of lots of different pop and juice all mixed together. A lot of things, basically anything, got thrown into the mix, and it ended up being just kind of a muddy mixture. And depending on what got thrown in there is whether it tasted okay or not so okay. You don't want the swamp water. You want to have focus. In this case, a glass of clear water, just water, is really what we want. It's simple, it's pure, we know what we're getting. It's like creating an elevator pitch. It's short, it's simple, it keeps your why in clear view. Try creating an elevator pitch which is so simple and short and concise for different areas of your life and see what happens. Simplicity also allows you to accelerate forward. Think about things that could weigh a sprinter down, like extra layers, maybe having some weights tied on them they were working out with, some extra coats on. When you think about the race that they're running, that's going to slow down their acceleration. There are too many things. When you think about fast, you think about lean, you think about the bare minimum. It's focused. You want to go further, faster. So if you're somebody and you feel like you're behind, and I've often felt this way when I've maybe wasted precious time getting off in a whole bunch of different directions and doing things that I had no business doing or that really wasn't aligned with my vision and my goals. When you start stripping some of these things away, you can gain some time back. You can accelerate where you're going and maybe even pass some of those runners that have passed you along the way and gain some momentum. You have to be results oriented. You have to look at that finish line and pay attention to what's causing you to stumble or to slow you down and those things you want to get rid of. Without simplicity, you may never get to the finish line. So you may be racing to go somewhere without a lot of focus and clear vision. You just may never get there. It's kind of a scary thought. This is really important stuff. Simplicity, and maybe this is something you didn't even connect simplicity to, but simplicity brings peace and it interrupts chaos. How many people listening to this need more peace in their life? Peace is something really lacking. I look all around me. There's not a whole lot of peace happening in people's lives. We live in such a complex world. And I know for myself, when I'm not peaceful, and I have way too many things going on, something has to give for me to get back to the place where I feel peaceful again, where I'm able to sleep and I'm able to think clearly and have simple thoughts. One thing I've noticed that keeps me in a state of unrest is when I can't let go of things that have already happened. Could be something recently, it could be something from a very long time ago. But those things have, in my life, historically stolen my peace when I revisit and hang on to things that I can't change. So that's an important change I decided to make a number of years ago. But we have to be very diligent at all times to make sure that we're remaining in that peaceful state. There's a simplicity in letting go of what was. If I can quote Johnny Cash, you build on failure. You use it as a stepping stone. Close the door on the past. You don't try to forget the mistakes, but you don't dwell on it. You don't let it have any of your energy or any of your time or any of your space. Now that's Johnny Cash. If you read scripture, Isaiah 43:18 also tells us very clearly not to remember the former things or consider the things of old. I keep that stuff very close to my heart because there's such truth in it. Where simplicity comes in is we have to decide if we're going to either let go of our past or our future. You can't hang on to both. And that's a sobering thought for somebody here listening to this today. I know it was for me too. So for me, it was a very clear decision which one I was going to let go of. But it's got to be intentional. It's got to be deliberate. I like the picture of walking through automatic double doors. Usually when there's that second set of doors, when you walk through the first set, they have to close before the next set of doors open. And that's very symbolic of what I'm talking about. You have to let those doors close to your past before the doors of your future can open. So simplicity is a big deal. And it, like I said at the beginning, it's very underrated. I think we as human beings think we're being way more productive the more we pack things into our calendar. I have to be very careful of this at all times. That's probably why I'm talking about this today. I've had to strip some things away yet again to make sure that I'm staying on track, staying in my lane, staying with my purpose and what I'm supposed to be doing and the people I'm supposed to help. If I get caught up in a whole bunch of other things that I have no business being a part of, that's going to slow me down. And I have no time to slow down. And I know many of you don't have time to slow down. So if you're trying to effectively speed up the process, simplify your life. So if you're looking for a little help or inspiration and you are desperately looking to be more creative, get more done, accelerate forward, and find some peace in your day-to-day life, I've created a list of 50 very practical ways to simplify your life. Click in the link in the description and I'll be happy to get those to you. Subscribe to this channel for more inspiration and resources like this. Thanks for listening.